You know, we've spent the last couple of weeks talking about growing incivility, the crisis here in America, with the focus on where it could take this nation. When the unwritten rule of civility fades, at some point, pitchforks and torches held high above heads in a crowd are lowered and pointed at those that we resent. Now, there's universal agreement. Something must be done to bring back calmer dissent and opposition. Now, I see this wave of incivility more as a virus, and it's morphed and it's reshaped itself into something right now that seems unstoppable. It's an incurable illness, and it does threaten to become an epidemic. Now, sadly, one of the key ways we cure or curb incivility, in the past at least, has been rendered ineffective, and actually these days hastens the spread of unbridled anger. The apology, or should I say the acceptance of apology. Parents, teachers, religious leaders, they all taught us at very early ages to offer the apology as a way of making amends for things said or done, whether the outcomes were deliberate or accidental. And for centuries, apologies worked wonders. Well, these days, when someone apologizes, the recipient often uses it to justify and further fuel incivility. Blessings we knew we'd receive for being understanding and even trying to live a more noble life aren't enough anymore when misgivings of others can be weaponized and used to pursue personal agendas. Now, we can all do our part to calm this incivility crisis and turn back this virus by being more magnanimous. I accept your apology are the four simple words that could save our country. Joining me now, Rabbi Marvin Hier, founder and dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Rabbi, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
What do you make of what's happening in this country, the incivility, the higher levels of violence, and this aura of anger that hangs in our air?
I've never seen anything like this, and I think it's very dangerous that if we don't do something about it, it's going to invite, unfortunately, a repeat of the 1860s, where America was divided and, God forbid, we had a civil war. It's simply ridiculous that people forget that it was Democrats and Republicans that made this country great. We can disagree with each other, but we can't shout at people, wait for them to come off planes, embarrass them in the street for no other reason except they belong to a different political party. I mean, we could have an America where no one goes to a doctor. If I'm a Republican, I don't want to go to a Democratic doctor, and vice versa to a dentist. What will that do to our country? It will destroy it. So I think we need to take the challenge at hand,
right,
and we have to do something about it. And we can disagree with each other, but we have to remember that Democrats and Republicans made this country great. And we cannot allow it now to divide it.
So how do we go about this then? You know, in the past we've had these remarkable leaders that have come in just the nick of time to sort of help to curve the arc of history so that we didn't continue in the wrong direction. Is that what it's going to take, or can the individual, each actual individual watching this show, looking in the mirror tomorrow morning, can they themselves make some sort of pledge to change? Could that be a possibility?
Well, that is a possibility. I think the best thing to do is to avoid extremism. It's extreme to tell people when you see somebody from the other party on the other side of the street, go out and embarrass him. Make his life miserable, his or her life miserable for them. That's not the American way. We have to cut that out. And we have to have Democrats, as we have. In this case, when this suggestion was made, I saw that some leading Democrats said that that is not the American way. The same is true with Republicans. Look, I speak honestly. I tell you that I'm adamantly opposed to the idea of separating children from their parents. That's not the American way. But it's not a reason to cause a civil war. Let's sit down, iron it out, figure out a way to move forward without destroying each other.
Right. Well, I want to say thank you, Rabbi Marvin Hier, founder and dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. We really appreciate you this night.